Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Yeah, help! The public toilet is flooded! I want to describe today what can happen with your pressing needs. So that's an episode about urgent needs from you and from me and from other people. So it's but still about flood protection secrets, of course. So imagine it is a sunny afternoon and you were eating in a restaurant. You enjoyed the apple juice you have just drank, and to digest, your idea is just to walk on the street. So the street is a bit crowded, and you choose the sidewalk. The sun is shining. Some dogs are passing by. Okay, the people with the dogs, not the dogs without people. And suddenly, nature is calling. What does it mean now? The juice and the food from the morning want to get out. So what to do? You know this feeling, huh? You cannot avoid. There is a moment and you cannot control it any longer. And especially not for people who are not used to that. So what to do? So how to handle the feeling of the urgent need? So the first question, what comes in your mind is, where is the next toilet? You are not at home, you are looking for a public toilet. And you are not in a mall. So in these huge malls, there are always toilets somewhere. And I talk about cities where you are outside, whether it is in Korea or in Japan or in Germany, France or in the US. And in some countries where you just walk outside. And you look for a public toilet and you think already, hopefully this one is not that dirty like the last one. Sometimes it happens and then you don't want to go there. So, and finally you see one at the other side of the street, and clouds are getting dark, it starts a little bit to rain, so the road is getting covered by rainwater, but of course you still want to go there, so you cross the road and you can make it. It's only a little bit water, but it's so urgent, so you accelerate your steps, and finally you go to your destination and you reach the toilet. So successfully you have crossed the street, and now you open the toilet door and yes, it's empty. Nobody is inside, and you entered. You enter, and as I've said, it's empty. Sit down, and of course, close the door first, and you do what you have to do. So that's a normal thing. I think everybody has experienced it already in their life, and I can say I experienced it many times, and it's not that funny if you don't find a toilet. But in this case, okay, luckily you found one. So what next? So while you are sitting there and your feeling is getting better, suddenly the floor in the toilet is getting wet. So the shoes are getting wet, more and more soaked, and the water is rising inside the toilet cabin, and it's going to your ankles already. You start to panic. I mean, what can happen? Imagine the water is rising more, not only up to the ankles, up to the knees, up to the hips, and up to the shoulders, and oh yeah, that is not a good idea. So what is the solution to avoid such an inconvenient and dangerous situation? the owner of the toilet in public is the municipality or the cities or the city mayor or at the city hall, for instance. And these public leaders and public servants, they should provide modern flood protection solutions for public installations, public infrastructure, public critical infrastructure. And the toilet was and is, it is a very critical in your case. So it is critical infrastructure for you. Urgent need. It is an urgent need and there should be a solution. I don't understand why in many cities in the world the public servants and the public leaders don't think about that. However, that should be done because it can be done. So the possible solution is first 3 points. Number one, improve the sewage system. That means or the drainage system. With a good drainage system, the water will never get into the building. It will stay outside. But what if outside there is such a water load that the drainage system and the public sewer cannot carry the water loads? What happens again and again? Just in the beginning of November 2023, so the city of Milan in Italy was seriously flooded and cars were swimming around. So the best sewage system, the best drainage system doesn't help you. So yes, solution number 2, you can think about an elevated construction of this toilet. Why not? Possible, but sometimes it's not possible, especially when it is a combination with a subway system, a subway station, or it is too expensive, or simply it cannot be done. Then the only solution is to install flood barriers, so modern flood barriers. And forget these sandbags. I always say that they are good for nothing. They are good for nothing. They will never help. So, which are the options with flood barriers? You can take demountable flood barriers in front of this toilet door, a flood door that is also a flood protection, flood door with an integrated ceiling system. And number 3, an automatic system like an automatic flip-up flood barrier system that is automatically flipping up when the water load is too high and protecting you. And the water will stay outside. You are safe inside the toilet. So the toilet suddenly becomes an evacuation center, right? And one more thing. Think about the people with disabilities. So all those with a wheelchair, people with crutches, older people who cannot walk that good anymore. So think about that when you come up with a solution, because very often people elevate something. There are stairs, and then what can be done? So dear architects and flood and public servants, think about the people with disabilities. So, what is the summary of all of it? You have a better environment, and better construction for the citizens, that they can have a comfortable time inside the public buildings. In this case, I was choosing a toilet for the urgent needs, the apple juice. That wanted to get out, but it can be any kind of other critical infrastructure or infrastructure. Then number 2, take a decision. So dear public leaders, public decision makers, public servants, take a decision to protect the building with flood barriers. And then number 3, start with an engineering assessment first. Don't choose something from the internet that is not working at the end of the day, because one thing is also very essential. In case of a need, the barriers must function, they must work, and demountable flood barriers need manpower. So who is this manpower? Who are these people? And the people must be skilled in a way. So is an automatic system a better choice? Or do you choose a flood door, for instance? So there are some questions, and these questions will find their answers in an engineering assessment. And if you have more questions, just give me a message. My name is Andreas Klippe. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood-free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with the new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.thefloodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering. German quality. Safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.